Welcome to 321 exams. We have a fresh topic before us this morning, but the subject is still government. And the topic before us, we're looking at public cooperation and parastatal. Public cooperation and parastatal. Now, before we start, we're going to look at the objective. What do we really intend, or what are we supposed to achieve at the end of this class? Now, from our list, which is the first thing here, we said we have the definition of public cooperation. We have the purpose and the functions of public cooperation. Okay? Then next, we have what we call the finance, the control, and problems of public cooperation. Then next, we said we have what we call the deregulation. Deregulation, and we look at the difference in deregulation. We look at the public, we look at objective, we look at the futures, we look at merit and demerit of deregulation. The next on the list, we said we have comparison between public cooperation and parastatal. So these are the things we are expected to do after this class. Okay? Now, let's look at public cooperation, the definition now. So going by definition, we are saying public cooperation is an organization or is an establishment created for a particular purpose. We are referring to an organization created by the government to provide some certain services. These services are essential. So public cooperation is created, or they are created to provide some essential services to the people. Okay? Why is it so? Because there are some certain services that are too expensive. The people cannot afford such services. Therefore, the need for government to, step into the people's affairs and help them is of paramount importance, and that is why public cooperation is created. We have as much as many public cooperation in the history of Nigeria. We have the NNPC, we have the NTA, we have the NRC, Nigerian Railway Corporation, and lots more. Okay, so going by definition, we said public cooperation Public cooperation is an organization created specifically by the government with the intention of rendering some certain services, some essential services to the people at a subsidized rate. At a subsidized rate. So take note, please. Public cooperation, we are referring to organizations that are created specifically by the government to provide some certain services that are essential to the people at a subsidized rate. These services might be too expensive for the people due to the level of their income, due to what they have. So governments feel, okay, fine, let's try to invest in this project and see what we can do to the people. Before the coming of StarTimes, before the coming of DSTV and a lot more, we have our local channels. These local channels are provided by the government, and you don't need to pay much. Just buy your antenna and you have access to your channel. But remember, when all these organizations started coming, talking about the DSTV and a lot more, they came in with different competition and their price is extremely high, okay? But public cooperation is very cheap. That is how it operates. So we are saying public cooperation is also a government-owned organization created to serve the people at different levels. Full stop. Now, example of public corporation in Nigeria. Examples of public corporation. In Nigeria include NRC. NRC is the same thing as Nigeria Railway Corporation. Okay? We said we have NTA. Nigeria Television Authority. Okay? We said we have NNPC, which is Nigeria National Petroleum Commission. Okay? ETC, just to mention, but few. And take notes. Don't forget, please. The oldest take notes, we said the oldest public corporation created in the oldest public corporation created in Nigeria is Nigeria Railway Corporation, NRC. Now, these are the basic things you need to understand about public corporation. We are saying public corporation is an organization, is an establishment created by the government specifically with the aim of providing some essential services to the people at a subsidized rate. Let's assume what it costs to buy a single item is 250,000 naira. Government might step into it and tell you to pay 15,000 naira. By so doing, they are helping the people in general. And that is why we create public corporation. In essence, public corporations are government-owned organization controlled by the government, and they are there to serve the people in general. Now, in the next subheading, we're going to look at the characteristics, features of public corporation. Characteristics of public corporation. That's what we are looking at right now. Characteristics of public corporation. Number one, we said ownership by the government. What are we trying to say is, public corporation, irrespective of the name, be it NRC, be it NNPC, whatever it is, in as much as it has the title of public corporation, then you and I need to know that it is owned, controlled, and managed by the government. So we are saying ownership of public corporation is by the government. Okay. So number 2 of the characteristics of public corporation, we said it is for essential services. It's even part of the reason for its creation. It is created specifically to provide essential services to the people. So take note, please. And number 3, talking about the characteristics, we said they are legal, or they have legal standing, or they have legal backup. It means every public corporation is registered by law. They can sue and be sued on their corporate name. So it means they can sue and be sued on their with their corporate names. With their corporate names. Okay. And next reason, or next the features, we said it has board of directors. You see, in a public corporation, we have board of directors being appointed by ministers, and the president appoints what? Ministers. Therefore, those board of directors, they are the ones who are in charge of what? Public corporation. The board of directors employ managers. That's how the hierarchies are. Okay? So board of directors are the one that controls the affairs of public corporation. We said board of directors appointed by ministers exercise control over the corporation. Okay. Then next, we said the people that works under public corporations are called public servants. They are not civil servants. Take note, please. They are called public servants. Workers under public corporations are called public servants. Okay, take note of that, please. So we've seen the basic features or the characteristics of public corporation. Okay, we said it is owned by the government. It is created specifically to render essential services to the people. And 3, we said they have legal standing, which means they have legal backup. They are created by law. They can sue and they can be sued. Okay, and we said public corporation is being controlled by board of directors. Who appoint the board of directors? Ministers. Who appoint ministers? Presidents. Who appoint president? The people. Take note. Then we said people that works under public corporation are called public servants. Next subheading, we're going to be looking at the reason behind the creation of what? Public corporation. Or why is it that public corporation is being set up? Why is public corporation set up? What is the main reason behind the setting or the creation of public corporation? We've been mentioning the same point since. Public corporation, from the definition, is created specifically to offer some essential services. Okay, number 2, public corporation is created specifically to prevent exploitation. What is exploitation? Cheating. We have different private-owned companies that are there cheating the people. Remember, there's a TV called Free TV. This Free TV, you subscribe for 1 year, 1,000 naira, and you enjoy whatever you want to enjoy. And we have DSTV, 17,000 naira, you subscribe for 1 month, you are in trouble. Although the quality in service is different between the two, but even as a dad, they are serving a particular purpose. Okay, so public corporation came in to reduce the exploitative nature of the capitalists. Then number 3, we said huge capital involving. You see, the reason why public corporation came into existence is because the amount of money needed to invest in some certain establishment are extremely high. Private individual may not have the capacity to do that, but government have the capacity. They can invest in risky venture. Venture simply means anything you do to make profit, okay? So they can invest in risky venture. If it works, fine. If it doesn't work, they still move on. But private individual may not have the capacity to do that. So that is why public corporation is created. Next, we said provision of employment opportunity. Definitely. Whenever you have a company created by government and that company has capacity of 200 people and they employ 50 people in your community, definitely poverty is gone. They are doing goodbye to poverty because they have something doing, okay? It will make them to focus more and give their family the best. Next, we said revenue generation. Definitely public corporation is created for revenue generation because they pay tax, whether you like it or not. We have the direct and indirect tax. As you're buying products from that particular company, you are paying tax. They are also paying tax for whatever they are doing. So don't forget, please, we said we have provision of essential services, we've seen it. To prevent exploitation, which is cheating, we've seen it. Huge capital is involved, so government came in to invest. Provision of employment opportunity, people who have job, they get married, they build their house and do whatever they want to do. Okay, next, revenue generation. Government is still making money back in return again. Next, we're looking at the functions of public corporation. What are the basic functions of public cooperation? We said number one, we are still repeating the same points again. Therefore, I didn't expect you to fail any question here. The basic function is for them to provide essential services, not to do anything. Not to come and be singing, not to come and be looking at the people, but rather just to come to prevent the suffering, to reduce the harshness of whatever the people are passing through, okay? And number two, we said provision of employment. Definitely people will be employed in that particular locality. Next, number three, we said to prevent exploitation. Good. Exploitation is cheating. Therefore, public cooperation came into existence to prevent exploitation from private sectors. Next, we said promote economic development. Definitely. Whenever we have public cooperation in a particular company, in your society or in your village, you'll be so shocked. You start seeing investors from different places. Whether they like it or not, they'll come and sleep in your place. Before you look at it, you have somebody who is selling food. With time, you have hotels. With time, you have the recreational centers. Before you look at it, your place will be developed. That's how Nigeria developed, okay? Next, we are looking at finance. Finance of public cooperation. How do they get their money? Since we said it is government-owned organization and they provide services very cheap, are they not making profit? Let's look at it. Number one of the sources of finance of public cooperation, we said we have government budget and support. Government budget and support. Government budget and support. Very, very important. Government budget and support. Now, governments do support public cooperation through their budget. There's what we call annual budgets. Every year, there's a particular amount of money that will be pushed or that will be pumped into a particular sector because you want them to operate freely. Therefore, the basic sources or the basic place where they get their money is from government and the support issued to them, okay? Next, we're looking at control of public cooperation. It's not like a private sector. It's not like a one-man business where one person controls. Who controls public cooperation? How do they control or how do they exercise such control? There's what we call legislative control. Legislative. Please take note, please. We have legislative, IVE. Legislative control. Legislative control. Now remember, the functions of the legislative arm of government is for them to make laws, to enact laws in order to guide the affairs of everybody in a particular country. Therefore, this legislative arm of government can make laws that will restrain the activities of what? Of public cooperation. By so doing, we have a lot of control coming from the legislative arm. Then next we said control by board of directors. Remember I said we have the president appoint ministers, ministers appoint board of directors. This board of directors, they are the one that will decide for the general annual meeting. They will decide on how to run the organization. Therefore, they also controls the public cooperation by telling them what to do and what not to do, okay? Next we said judicial control. Remember, the judiciary, their responsibility is to do what? Is to interpret the laws, give judgment, and a lot more. Therefore, The judiciary might choose to restrain the activities of public corporation, most especially if there is complaint from private individual. Maybe you buy a particular product or you order for a particular services and you suffer damages. The compensation given to you might lead to that particular corporation faced a problem of shutdown. Next, we said we have the coming. I'm coming, please. We have legislative control twice. Therefore, there's an omission here. Take note of that, please. This one, let's call it internal control, please. Take note. Internal control. Therefore, the internal control comes from managers. Managers control the affairs of workers. Take note, please. Okay? So next we said we have the executive control. The executive control, which we call the ministerial control. The ministerial control came as a result of what? Since the minister appoints the board of directors, they can tell them, go and tell your remaining subordinates, this is what we want from today. And that is how it's going to be, okay? Then there's what we call the political control. In civil service, there's what we call different class. The political class is where the president and other people came from because they are only coming for a particular period of time, they will go. So the political control comes from the president's office and they can exercise control over there. Remember the hierarchy. From the president to the minister, from the minister to the board of directors, to directors down to the subordinates. Next subheading, we're looking at the problems of public corporation. What problems do they have? What is their problem? Poor motivation. Poor motivation is all about, we're talking about the salary. Motivation is a way of encouraging somebody who is working for you. You give the person bonus, you give the person extra salary, you give the person targets. You know, a lot of allowance is given to the person. The person will feel so strong, so moved to work for you. Therefore, if motivation is poor, people are going to be poor in their performance. So poor motivation is a problem of public corporation because of the carelessness of the board of directors, because of the carelessness of the ministers, and because of the carelessness of the president, okay? Number two, we said we have shortage of equipment. You go to a particular company owned by government, there is no equipment. In fact, you go to government office, you'll be seeing window AC of 1922. Meanwhile, we have split AC that they can use to power that particular organization. That's very bad. You go to an organization, you'll be seeing olden days desktop. What are you doing with desktop? There are many fast gadgets that can perform your operation for you. But unfortunately, because of that particular poor mentality, you see a lot of shortage of equipment in the process of running this corporation. That's a serious problem being faced by them. Next, we said we have inadequate finance. Inadequate finance is somehow related to the first point. And this is the first point, poor motivation. It's possible there is finance, but we have wickedness from the board of directors or the leaders. So inadequate finance, there is no enough money because people are not paying. For example, look at the water board. Somebody will be using water for 2 years without paying his bill. How do you expect those that are working with water board to collect their salary? Okay, think about it. Then next we said we have the political interference. Remember, the president is coming for 4 years. If he's lucky, he will come for second term contest and he have what, 8 years. After that 8 years, another government will come with different policies. And that has become a serious problem with the public corporation. They cannot function the way they should. Next, ethnicity and nepotism, sorry. Ethnicity and nepotism, a very serious problem in Nigeria. This one will tell you the director must come from Yoruba land. The director must come from Hausa land. The director must come from Igbo land. As soon as the director enters, he's from Igbo land, assistant director, everybody will be from Igbo land. That is the highest level of ethnicity and nepotism. If it's not your brother, if the person is not from your village, you're not going to employ him. That is the problem we have in public corporation till tomorrow. Think about it, okay? Now, we are moving forward. The next subheading before us now, we're looking at a topic titled, or a subtopic titled, Deregulation. 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 You know, we have a lot of business activities going out, but there's a lot of control over them. There are some certain business controlled by the government, some are controlled by private individuals, some are controlled by both. Remember in our previous class, we mentioned capitalism, we mentioned socialism, and we mentioned mixed economy. We said in a capitalist society, the means of production, everything is controlled by private individual. In a socialist nation, we said is the government. But in mixed economy, both government and private individual run the affairs of the country. But what we're looking at now is what is titled deregulation. Let's go by short definition before I explain. We said is the reduction and elimination of government power. Deregulation is the reduction and elimination of government is the reduction and elimination of government power in a particular industry in a particular industry, usually created for more competition, for more competition within the industry, So whenever you hear the word deregulation, at times there's what we call the market deregulation. You're trying to reduce the control exercised by government by giving private individuals to have a little say in the process of running that particular business. But now what we're saying is, we said deregulation is the reduction. You have to reduce government control and elimination of government power. At times government exercise absolute power over markets, over business. No, there should be a fair play. Allow private individuals, since they have the money, allow them to exercise control. There should be competition within them. That is what we mean by deregulation. Okay? Deregulation can come in different ways. Can only take place when governments are willing and able to relinquish their power and exercise little control. So that is what we mean by deregulation, okay? So next subheading, we're looking at privatization. Privatization, we've seen deregulation and we're looking at privatization. By definition, we said privatization is the transfer of ownership. Privatization is the transfer of ownership. Okay, so at this point we've come to the end of this lesson. See you in the next lesson.